Captain Elias Carter stood in the grand hall of the Xyrethian Empire's capital ship, trying to keep a neutral expression. It wasn't easy. The towering aliens around him had sharp silver skin, glowing violet eyes, and long, sleek hair. Their elegant robes shimmered under the artificial lights, giving them an almost mystical presence. It was humanity's first official meeting with the Xyrethians, a powerful race that controlled dozens of star systems. Peace talks had been going well, until now. Captain Carter, Princess Vela whispered, standing far too close to him. I must confess something. Elias turned his head slightly, surprised by the hesitation in her voice. Unlike the other Xyrethians, she had a nervous look on her face, her violet eyes flickering with uncertainty. Go ahead, Princess. He kept his voice calm. Vela took a deep breath, then spoke the words that changed everything. Human males are impossible to resist. The room fell silent. Every Xyrethian noble turned toward her in shock. The human delegation exchanged confused glances. Elias felt his own pulse quicken. What? Ambassador Royce, the senior human diplomat, cleared his throat. Princess Vela, what do you mean by that? Vela's cheeks darkened, a Xyrethian sign of embarrassment. Her fingers gripped the folds of her robe. It's difficult to explain, but I cannot ignore it anymore. When I see human men, something inside me reacts. I feel drawn to them. It is not normal for my kind, yet I cannot stop it. A loud hiss echoed across the hall. Lord Sci-Fi, a high-ranking Xyrethian noble, stepped forward. Princess, you speak madness. His silver hands clenched into fists. You disgrace your people with these words. Vela turned to him, standing tall despite the tension in the room. You know I speak the truth, Lord Sci-Fi. Elias observed everything carefully. Vela was trembling slightly, but her voice remained steady. This was not a joke. This was something serious. Ambassador Royce gave a polite but firm nod. If this is true, then it is an important matter. Perhaps our scientists can. No. Lord Sci-Fi snarled, his eyes burning with rage. This subject is forbidden. Elias noticed how several other Xyrethians looked uncomfortable, shifting their weight, avoiding eye contact. They know something. Before anyone could say more, Vela suddenly grabbed Elias's wrist. Her skin was cool, but he could feel the slight tremor in her touch. Captain Carter, she whispered urgently. Please, I need your help. Elias frowned. Help with what? Vela's voice dropped to an almost desperate whisper. They will silence me for saying this, but I won't go back. I need to leave with you, right now. Elias's heart pounded. This was no longer a simple diplomatic meeting. It had just turned into something far more dangerous, and he had no idea what would happen next. Captain Elias Carter sat in his ship's conference room, watching Princess Vela pace back and forth. She had been silent for the past 5 minutes, her silver skin glowing under the soft lights. The moment they left the Xyrethian capital ship, she had refused to answer any questions. Now, with the doors locked and the ship safely away, Elias decided it was time. Princess, start talking. His voice was firm but calm. What exactly is going on? Vela stopped pacing and looked at him. They will come for me, she said softly. My people will not allow this truth to spread. Elias leaned forward. What truth? That human men are attractive to Xyrethians. Vela hesitated, then nodded. It is more than attraction, Captain Carter. It is something deeper, something dangerous. Before Elias could ask more, Dr. Marina Cho, the ship's xenobiologist, entered the room. She placed a small data tablet on the table and crossed her arms. Captain, I think I have an answer. Elias and Vela turned to her. Go on, Elias said. Dr. Cho took a deep breath. I analyzed Vela's blood samples and compared them with human biology. There's a unique reaction happening. Elias frowned. Reaction. Dr. Cho nodded. Human males release a specific pheromone, one we can't detect, but Xyrethians can. and for some reason, their bodies respond to it in a way that overrides their natural instincts. Elias raised an eyebrow. Are you saying that human men are biologically irresistible to Zyrethian women? Vela lowered her head. Yes. That is why I had to leave. My people have known this for centuries. Elias felt a chill run down his spine. And they kept it secret. Vela nodded. The Zyrethian ruling council erased all records of past human encounters. They feared that if Zyrethian women discovered this truth, it would break our strict arranged mating traditions. Our society is built on controlled genetic pairings. But now everything is at risk. Elias leaned back in his chair, rubbing his chin. So, if this information gets out, Zyrethian women might choose humans instead of the mates chosen for them. Vela sighed. Yes, and if that happens, the entire empire could collapse. Dr. Cho whistled softly. No wonder they wanted to silence you. Before anyone could speak again, the ship's alarm blared. The intercom crackled with the voice of Elias's first officer. Captain, we have multiple Zyrethian warships on our scanners. They're coming straight for us. Elias and Vela locked eyes. The chase had begun. The Odyssey shook as it jumped into faster-than-light travel, escaping the Zyrethian warships. Red warning lights flashed across the control panels, but Captain Elias Carter stayed calm. He had been in worse situations before, but never with a runaway alien princess whose entire empire wanted her silenced. Report. Elias barked. His first officer, Lieutenant Davis, scanned the sensors. We lost them for now, Captain. But they'll be tracking our signature. Elias exhaled. Great, just great. He turned to Princess Vela, who stood by the viewport, staring at the swirling lights of hyperspace. Mind explaining why your people are willing to kill over this? Vela hesitated. Then she sighed, as if accepting there was no turning back. My father, Emperor Zycon, has known about the human effect for centuries. But instead of warning our people, he and the ruling council hid the truth. Elias folded his arms. Why? Vela turned to him, her violet eyes glowing in frustration. Because if Zyrethian women knew they could choose their own mates, especially humans, it would destroy our society. Our empire is built on control, on arranged pairings that keep noble bloodlines pure. If that system collapses, so does the empire. Elias ran a hand through his hair. So they'd rather erase history and kill anyone who questions it. Vela's lips tightened. Yes. Dr. Marina Cho, the ship's xenobiologist, entered the bridge, her face tense. Captain, I checked our logs. This isn't the first time humans and Zyrethians have crossed paths. Elias frowned. Explain. Dr. Cho placed her data tablet on the console, showing ancient records. There are hidden reports of human explorers meeting Zyrethians over 200 years ago. And guess what? The same pattern happened. Female Zyrethians showed a strong attraction to human males. Vela's hands clenched. I knew it. Dr. Cho continued. But here's the scary part. Those explorers vanished. Their ships were never found. Elias's jaw tightened. You think the Zyrethian Council eliminated them? Vela's voice was barely a whisper. I don't think. I know. For a moment, the bridge was silent. Then the Odyssey's alarm blared again. Captain, Davis shouted. Incoming transmission from the Emperor himself. Elias and Vela exchanged a look. This was it. The moment of truth. Elias took a deep breath and tapped the console. Put him through. The holographic image of Emperor Zycon appeared, his silver skin reflecting the blue light of his throne room. His gaze was cold, his voice sharp. Captain Carter, you have something that belongs to me. Surrender the princess now, or be destroyed. Vela stepped forward, her voice steady. I will never go back. Zycon's expression darkened. Then you will die with them. The transmission cut off. Elias turned to his crew. Brace for battle. The Odyssey trembled as the first Zyrethian warship opened fire. Bright energy blasts shot past the hull, shaking the entire ship. Alarms blared across the control panels. Shields at 70%. Lieutenant Davis shouted. Captain Elias Carter gritted his teeth. Evasive maneuvers. Return fire. The Odyssey's plasma cannons roared to life, striking the enemy's shields, but the Zarethians had more ships. 5 warships now surrounded them, blocking every escape route. Princess Vela gripped the edge of the console. My father will never let me go. Her voice was steady, but Elias could see the fear in her eyes. Well, he's gonna have to try harder, Elias muttered. Dr. Marina Cho rushed onto the bridge, her tablet in hand. Captain, I have an idea, but it's risky. Elias kept his eyes on the battle. Now's not the time for safe ideas, Doc. Spit it out. Dr. Cho held up her screen. Zarethian ships track us using quantum resonance signatures. But if we overload our reactor for 5 seconds, we can disrupt their scanners long enough to escape. Elias raised an eyebrow. Overloading the reactor? That could blow us up. Dr. Cho smirked. Only if we do it wrong. Elias turned to his crew. You heard her. Prepare for a controlled overload. The Zarethian fleet closed in, their weapons charging for a final strike. Vela clenched her fists. They won't stop until we're dead. Elias glanced at her. Then let's make sure they miss. He slammed his fist on the intercom. Engineering. Overload the reactor. Now. A deep hum vibrated through the ship as the energy core surged beyond its limit. The Odyssey's lights flickered, and a powerful energy pulse exploded outward. The moment the pulse hit, the Zarethian warship's scanners glitched. Their targeting systems failed. Confused, they hesitated. That was their mistake. Full speed ahead. Elias roared. The Odyssey jumped into hyperspace, disappearing into the void. Inside the ship, the crew sighed in relief as the alarms faded. The emergency lights flickered back to normal. Elias turned to Dr. Cho. Remind me never to doubt you again. Dr. Cho smirked. Told you it would work. Vela, still gripping the console, exhaled slowly. We escaped, for now. Elias nodded. Yeah, but your father isn't giving up. He's gonna keep coming. Vela's violet eyes locked onto his. Then we need a plan. A real one. We can't run forever. Elias leaned back in his chair, thinking. He wasn't just protecting Vela. He was protecting the truth. And if the Zarethians were willing to kill for it, then maybe. It was time to fight back. The war for freedom had just begun. The Odyssey sped through hyperspace, safe for the moment. But everyone on board knew it wouldn't last. The Zarethian Empire wouldn't stop hunting them. Captain Elias Carter sat in the war room, staring at the holographic map of the galaxy. Princess Vela stood beside him, her silver skin glowing under the dim lights. We can't keep running, Captain. We need to expose the truth. Elias sighed. Easier said than done. Princess, your father controls the entire empire. He's already erased history once. What's stopping him from doing it again? Dr. Marina Cho tapped her tablet. Maybe we don't need to fight him directly. Maybe we just need to make sure the truth spreads faster than he can erase it. Elias raised an eyebrow. I'm listening. Dr. Cho pulled up a star map. There's a place called the Nexus, a massive space station where hundreds of species trade information. If we can broadcast Vela's confession from there, the whole galaxy will know. Vela's eyes widened. If the Zarethian people hear the truth, my father won't be able to stop them. Elias smirked. I like it, but there's a problem. You think your father doesn't have spies on Nexus. Lieutenant Davis, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. He definitely does. But Nexus is neutral territory. Even the Zarethian Empire can't just attack it without consequences. Elias drummed his fingers on the table. All right, we head to Nexus. But we need to be careful. If the Emperor figures out what we're doing, he'll try to stop us before we even get there. Vela nodded. Then we must move fast. Hours later, approaching the Nexus. The Odyssey dropped out of hyperspace, and before them stood the Nexus, a giant city in space, glowing with millions of lights. Ships of all shapes and sizes docked at its many ports. Elias took a deep breath. All right, people. We go in quiet. No weapons drawn. We get the message out and get out before the Emperor's forces show up. The crew prepared for landing. But as they approached, the ship's scanners blared an alert. "Captain," Davis shouted, "I'm picking up a Xyrethian warship already docked at Nexus." Elias cursed under his breath. "They're already here." Vela clenched her fists. "We have to take the risk. If we don't, my people will never know the truth." Elias looked at his crew. There was no turning back now. "All right," he said, standing. "Let's go make history." As the Odyssey docked at the Nexus, none of them knew that a team of Xyrethian assassins was already waiting for them. The Odyssey docked at the Nexus, its landing thrusters humming as the ship settled into place. The massive space station stretched endlessly in all directions, glowing with neon lights and bustling with thousands of travelers from different species. It was a place of trade, secrets, and danger. Captain Elias Carter led his team down the ramp, his eyes scanning the crowd. Princess Vela walked beside him, her silver skin hidden beneath a hooded cloak. Dr. Marina Cho and Lieutenant Davis followed closely. "Stay sharp," Elias muttered. "The Xyrethians are already here." Vela tightened her grip on the cloak. "We must reach the broadcast station before they find us." Dr. Cho nodded. "Once we send your message, the whole galaxy will know the truth." They moved through the crowded market district, weaving between alien merchants and travelers. The air was filled with the scent of exotic spices and the hum of dozens of different languages. But Elias felt it. They were being watched. A flicker of movement caught his eye. 3 figures in dark Xyrethian armor blended into the shadows, following them. "Assassins," Elias whispered. Before he could react, one of the assassins lunged. A plasma blade slashed through the air, aimed at Vela's back. Elias spun and blocked the attack with his pulse pistol, knocking the assassin backward. "Run," he shouted. The crew bolted through the market as chaos erupted. The assassins pursued, shoving people aside, their weapons flashing under the neon lights. Vela's hood fell back as she ran, revealing her silver hair. A few nearby Xyrethians gasped in recognition. "It's the princess," someone shouted. The assassins moved faster. They couldn't allow Vela to escape. Davis pulled out his rifle and fired, hitting one assassin in the shoulder. The enemy stumbled but kept coming. "We won't make it to the station," Dr. Cho gasped as they rounded a corner. Elias spotted a narrow alleyway. "In here." They dove into the alley, pressing against the walls. The assassins rushed past, missing them by inches. Vela's breathing was heavy. That was too close. Elias reloaded his pistol. "They know we're here. We have to move fast." Dr. Cho checked her tablet. "The broadcast station is only 2 levels up. If we get there, we win." Davis peeked out of the alley. "Bad news. More Xyrethians are arriving." Elias grinned. "Then let's give them a chase they won't forget." They moved through the shadows, heading for the station. The assassins were close, but the truth was even closer. The crew of the Odyssey moved quickly through the winding corridors of the Nexus, their footsteps light, their breaths controlled. Behind them, Xyrethian assassins searched the marketplace, scanning every shadow. "We're close," Dr. Marina Cho whispered, checking her tablet. "The broadcast station is just ahead." Captain Elias Carter glanced over his shoulder. The assassins hadn't spotted them yet, but it was only a matter of time. "We need to move faster." Princess Vela, still hidden beneath her cloak, nodded. "Once we send the message, the Xyrethian people will know the truth. My father won't be able to silence me anymore." Elias grinned. "Let's make history." They reached the station's entrance, a massive steel door guarded by a towering alien bouncer. His 4 red eyes glowed as he studied them. "Access restricted," the alien rumbled. Vela stepped forward, lowering her hood. "I am Princess Vela of the Zyrethian Empire. I demand entry." The alien's eyes widened. He hesitated, then slowly stepped aside. "The station belongs to no empire. Do what you must." Elias gave a nod of thanks before leading the group inside. Inside the broadcast station, the room was filled with holoscreens and transmission panels, glowing with different signals from across the galaxy. A single technician, a blue-skinned reptilian, turned in surprise. "Who are you?" he hissed. Vela stepped forward. "We need to send a message to every corner of the galaxy. Now." The technician blinked. "That will draw a lot of attention." Elias smirked. "That's the idea." Dr. Cho quickly connected Vela's prepared speech to the system. Within moments, the transmission was ready. Vela took a deep breath and stood before the camera. This was it, the moment everything would change. "People of the Zyrethian Empire, my name is Princess Vela." Her voice was steady but filled with urgency. "For centuries, our rulers have hidden the truth. They have erased history, silenced voices, and controlled who we love. But no longer." She gripped the podium. "Zyrethian women have a choice. We are not bound by tradition. The Empire has kept us from the truth about human men, about our freedom. But I tell you now, there is nothing to fear." Elias watched the transmission timer. Just a few more seconds. Then, alarms blared. "They're here," Davis shouted. The doors burst open, and Zyrethian soldiers stormed inside, weapons drawn. The technician gasped and ducked under his desk. "You brought the Empire here. Are you insane?" Vela's message continued broadcasting, but the soldiers raised their rifles. Elias grabbed his pistol. "We just need a little more time." Vela clenched her fists. "Then we fight." Blasters fired. The battle had begun. Blaster fire exploded through the broadcast station. Elias Carter dove behind a control panel, his pulse pistol firing back at the Zyrethian soldiers who stormed in. "We need more time." Dr. Marina Cho shouted, her fingers flying across the console. "The transmission is still uploading." Princess Vela stood in front of the camera, defiant. Her message was still broadcasting, reaching thousands, maybe millions, of Zyrethians across the galaxy. She couldn't stop now. Lieutenant Davis rolled behind cover, reloading his rifle. "There's too many of them." Elias gritted his teeth. "Then we hold the line." A Zyrethian soldier leaped over the console, his plasma sword slashing toward Vela. She barely dodged, but her cloak was cut in half. Elias shot the soldier in the chest, sending him crashing to the floor. The transmission timer blinked, 78% complete. Vela's voice remained steady. "To all Zyrethians listening, you deserve the truth. My father has kept us in the dark for too long. But no empire lasts forever. The future belongs to those who fight for it." A grenade rolled across the floor. Elias's eyes widened. "Cover." The explosion shook the station. Sparks flew. The console flickered. The transmission timer dropped to 82%. Dr. Cho groaned from behind a desk. Her arm burned from the blast. "I think they just fried half the system." Davis fired his rifle, hitting another soldier. "We can't let them stop the broadcast." More Zyrethians poured in, but something unexpected happened. The technician, the blue-skinned reptilian who ran the station, suddenly stood up. His 4 hands flew across the emergency controls. "If you die, you won't finish the broadcast. I will." His voice was sharp. Vela's eyes widened. "You'd help us." The technician smirked. "I love a good rebellion." The transmission timer jumped to 95%. Elias grinned. "Almost there." But then, a new enemy entered the room. A towering figure in golden armor. General Varkas. Vela froze. The Zyrethian warlord stepped forward, his crimson eyes locked onto her. "This foolishness ends now." His deep voice rumbled across the station. He raised his gauntlet, and a powerful energy wave blasted across the room, knocking Elias, Davis, and Cho to the ground. Sparks and debris flew everywhere. Vela stood her ground. The transmission reached 99%. General Varkos drew his plasma blade. "You will come with me, princess." Now, Vela clenched her fists. She had run for too long. This time, she would fight.